For the next 52 weeks, I will share with you a weekly episode of my journey learning how to ride, learning how to film, and learning how to grow a business that can hopefully sustain my passion in sharing with you my adventures and my learnings on how to scale a business. Hello, welcome to my episode 2 of starting YouTube. Last week I did this. I plan to put together all my weekly learnings from my 52-week journey back in Instagram. I wanted to learn how to film and ride, so I tried to do things cinematically. I wanted to mix my shots from Sony and action cameras, and I thought this was the first episode I can get it right. For the past 2 years, I have fantasized of making my life look like a movie. I made it a point to dedicate a time of my week to learn how to film and pick a hobby that I can focus filming. It just so happened that motorcycle and the outdoors has been a big part of keeping my mental health on point. My work background comes with a lot of risk because I'm a startup founder. I basically bootstrap my company, and the anxiety of my day-to-day operations without any backup plan gets to my head. It gets me lonely. That normally triggers my anxiety. I didn't come from a rich family and I don't have any investor, but I built the coffee chain from scratch. It was from hard work, sleepless nights, and tons of rejections. I even had to lose a lot of friends just to pursue my passion in opening a coffee shop. So, posting it in Instagram, my adventures has made me inspired to do YouTube. I wanted YouTube for something I can watch along the way when I don't feel like making it. At the same time, I wanted YouTube to share my learnings to people who might relate. I know that I'm not alone facing this journey, and I'm not alone in facing this pain of rejection, so I wanted to put this message out here to hopefully have a community of people that I can talk to. This channel is dedicated to remind me not to quit. I wanted to look back on a specific part of my life in case that I make it. So I look forward to my adventures every time I don't feel like working. Whenever I feel tired, whenever I feel lost, I just wanted to hear the sound of the motorcycle and the sound of nature, and I feel like everything's gonna be okay. My mini adventures always remind me not to quit. This sound is what peace looks like for me. That sound and the stillness of nature is what keeps me sane. It keeps me focused. Even though it feels like crazy doing this, having your cameras, a tripod, learning how to do ASMR, heavy helmet, lots of jacket for your protection, learning how to ride a big motorcycle, it's crazy. But I don't mind it because it makes me happy. It makes me fulfilled even if I don't have anyone clapping for me. Motorcycle, filming, adventures is something I can share with you here, and it's something that I'm so alive with. I also wanted to share my startup journey because building my coffee chain from a person earning $2 a month the last 10 years, I always have three things in my mind whenever I feel like I'm quitting. First, and this is the first lesson, you have to know your why, and your how will be easy. This connects to my first episode of Finding Your Purpose, because your purpose is spelled as your dreams. Your dreams is also spelled as your goals. And now your goals, finally, is also spelled as your habits and the daily decisions you make every day to make that dream work. You have to go back to your why if you feel like you're quitting. You close your eyes and you try to jump to that situation when you already have everything. You feel the moment, you manifest it, and made that remind you to get up on your ass and do it again. You keep on failing and you do it again. My why on doing this is I want my adventures and my film to remind me that there's a lot to life to do when you have money. I don't believe in the saying money doesn't buy happiness because money makes the world go round. But I can assure you that money will be an avenue for you to experience happiness. So I wanted to look back on my life from the moment that I was broke and the moment that I was making it. I want to have a story to share to people on the time that my coffee shop is all over the place. I wanted that story to remind the people working, hating their jobs, people trying to just go day by day to have money for the table. That it is possible for you to go from point A to point B as long as you're willing to sacrifice and you're willing to know your why. You have to know your compelling why so it won't stop you from chasing your goals. The moment you define your purpose, every how will be easy in your life because you're gonna be so obsessed on trying to chase that dream. I'm almost near my shoot location, and this will connect to my second lesson on how not to quit. This moment has been very magical for me because this was the moment I was so confident to off road my big bike after training a lot of weeks with the dirt bike, and there are things that I want to go to with my scrambler. Finally, I got my audio right with the ASMR, and it sounds really well. The second lesson: when you fail, you will start with experience. You don't quit, you try again. It's because every time you fail and you try again, you're actually a step closer and you have more chances of making it because your resume is basically your failure of becoming great. The more failures that I have to go through, the more confident I was to tackle more tasks because I feel like I was more equipped to fail on my next project. So I was going to my next location to do some ASMR and I noticed something. I tried to look at my bike because I felt like there was something wrong. I lost my balance and my handlebar suddenly just broke. I was worried because what if that happened during cruising speed, or maybe that happened on a high speed going back home in the freeway. So this connects to my third lesson. I want to tell myself, stick to the plan and not on your mood. You have to remember that. You have to stick to your plan and not on your mood. There are a lot of things just like this. Whatever your plan is, there are things that will happen beyond your control. And you're gonna be so frustrated about it. That's totally normal. Your mood will depend on happenings, but it shouldn't change the way you attack your plans. Don't let it stop you from chasing your goal. Because the moment you depend on your mood, it's gonna delay all the things that you have to do. After years of focusing and improving myself, I remember I was earning less than $2 back then. I hated my job. I didn't want to go to work. You know that feeling of you're on the way to work, but you feel like you just want to go home because you hate your work so much. But because during that time, I wanted to have a business that can fulfill my passion in motorcycle or whatever adventure I want to do. That was my motivation, even if I was earning less because I didn't have the skills to be paid more. I had to stick to the plan of making it rather than the mood of I was too lazy to go to work because I hate what I do. Sometimes you have to do what you hate because it's not always going to be fancy. The moment your joy or your excitement passes along, that's where the hard work comes in. So you have to remember to stick to your plan and not to your mood. Do it sad, do it happy, do it with energy, do it with less energy. Just be consistent. That was the exact words I have in my mind going home with this broken bike. It was tough. It was a lot of mental work in my head because I thought this first film that I'm doing will connect all my love for ASMR, sunsets, and photos, but apparently this is my new challenge right now. How to go home with a broken handlebar. And that's it. This has been an adventure for me, and this episode will always remind me not to quit. See you next time.